All right, welcome to the second call in the Magnetic Feminine Woman training. I'm super excited for this whole training. Literally one of my favorite things to do in the world is lead these live trainings, these 5-day trainings. So it's really fun to have everyone together. I think that's why I like it. Is just feeling all the energy that everyone brings, and just know that whoever's here, whether you're here live or on the replay, you are adding to this training. Your energy is present, and you're really calling for whatever information, whatever wisdom comes through. It's really what your soul is pulling. And that's really fun, is to realize how much you are impacting this space and how much you're actually part of creating this training as well. So the second training day is about activating feminine vulnerability, which activates a man's masculine desire to protect. And I just did a live stream with Helena right before, and it was really fun if you want to go back and watch it. I mean, this is really the meat of what we were talking about, but ultimately this whole week, what our intention is to activate the energy of joy and feeling good, that warmth and love that is inherent to the feminine nature and to feminine energy, that is ultimately the energy that men can't experience on their own. And so it's what they're valuing of the feminine more than anything else. And when you can just become this walking, talking, existing being of this beautiful life force that you are already, you don't have to do anything or think anything special. You just become this magnetic aura. And it's so, like, my intention for everyone here is that you tap into your natural and inherent worth as a woman, which is really coming from your energy, this deep well of love, this infinite energy that is your essence, that is your truth. Because when you tap into that, you don't need anything from the outside, A, and B, you never question your value ever again. And you may get hurt still, you may have experiences in relationship where you're just learning, but at a core level, you don't doubt your value. So that's why I'm here. That's really my purpose in Elevated Woman in general. My entire business, this entire mission, this movement, is to support women to understand the truth, which is that as embodiments of the feminine, we are holding this access to this divine energy. And that's why we're so valuable to men, to the masculine presence on the planet, to everyone in our lives, is that when we remember this and embody it and share it, there's nothing more valuable. Because not only are we giving others access to that, we're also helping them remember that that's who they really are as well. So that being said, I'd love for a few of you to just share your intention in being here. I'll go over the structure, the outline of this day, and then I'll read a few of your intentions, and we'll drop into some of the training and continue on. So please, if you have a moment just to share your intention, it's a nice way to anchor it in. I love to use writing when I'm doing manifestation work, because it's essentially taking something that's in the ether, it's in the air, and dropping it into physical form. So you're contracting that energy through the words, through the letters, and giving it a physical form. And then that helps to bring it into your life, actually. Okay, so I'm changing the order a little bit. I'm going to change the words, or I'm going to change that page, because I just thought more about it, and I have a different vision in mind for just something shifted for me. So we have a different order. Today is vulnerability, and then tomorrow is sexuality, and then Wednesday is play, and the last day is feminine grace or feminine elevation. It's that energy of the high value woman. So it's going to be in that, yes. Thanks for the clarification, Sophia. All right, so Vicky, I'm in a brand new relationship and I have a tendency in the past to fall into the masculine energy. I want to simply embody the feminine and have a whole different experience with my new boyfriend. I love that. That is easy to shift, super easy to shift. So it won't be hard to shift that at all. Val says, I use my masculine energy at work and in getting things done at home, raising 2 sons, but now I'm dating a masculine man and I need to learn to show my vulnerability with him to get my needs met. I love that. Okay, so tomorrow will be really powerful because it's feminine sexuality, which inspires him to want to give to you. It inspires him to want to give you everything that you need, and inspires him to really like please you and pleasure you, but from the space of get all of your needs met from that. So tomorrow will be really great for you. Gladys, I'm not in a relationship, but I'm feeling same as Vicky. Okay, love it. So there's a lot of, right now I'm feeling a theme of you're comfortable in your masculine energy and you want to feel more comfortable just being in that inherent feminine energy. So that is perfect. I love that. And if anybody else wants to share their intention, feel free. Otherwise, just very briefly, the way that this training will be structured is just like every other training. We'll do a little bit of talking at the beginning. I'll share some of the information for today. And then we'll do a few exercises, a little breathing exercise, a movement exercise, a mantra to help you get into that elevated feminine energy and to just drop into that essence. And then we'll move into the visualization, the meditation, and then at the end we'll do Q&A. If anybody is watching on the replay and sees this, know that you can send me questions in advance or after each call, and I can answer those questions in the following. So, a couple more intentions. The power to let control, to let go of control, I think, to stay in vulnerability and feel my femininity. I love it. Love that. That's perfect for today. My intention is truly to embody high value, elevated woman at all times, so I can help transform the lives of women and attract the right quality, the high quality man who is meant for me. I'm excited to go through this training. I love it. You are so that elevated woman. I can feel that with your intention there. So beautiful. So just so if you're new to working with me, we work a lot with this archetype of the elevated woman. So every training that we're doing is ultimately helping you step up into the elevated woman energy in your own life. And the elevated woman is an activator and an initiator for a higher potential on the planet. So when you embody your highest feminine energy, you step out into the world and you actually activate those around you, because part of the elevated feminine energy is embodying this truth and wisdom and the spiritual presence that helps people remember who they really are. And from that space, you can open up into deeper relationship, way deeper intimacy, and it just overall, it's from that space of the elevated woman, you attract everything that you want just inherently. So we'll do one more intention, and then I'll go into the teaching. So, Taz. I have been on and off with my man for 10 years. We decided to make it before Christmas. He broke it off and said it just doesn't feel the same anymore. I realize I have been in my masculine energy for so long. I want to turn it around and be in my feminine energy. I want to be magnetic. Beautiful. All right, so feel free to share if you just want to add it for your own self. Otherwise, I'm going to drop into the teaching. So, feminine vulnerability is essential in this process of stepping into that magnetic feminine woman energy. And what I want to talk about with vulnerability is, we talk about vulnerability, and I'm sure you've heard that this is an important aspect of relationships. And we'll address that. Yes, men want to feel close to your heart. Men want to see you at a deep level. They don't want to just see this picture perfect person that's polished all the time and has no flaws. That's not the kind of woman that ultimately, if a man's in his masculine power, he's not going to fall for a woman who is just perfect and polished all the time, because he doesn't value that. He values a woman who's authentic and real, and that is in touch with her emotions, which are, if she's in her power, most likely very dynamic, that she is able to experience the highest levels of love and light and joy. She's also not afraid of her depth. and sometimes even her darkness and her fears. That full spectrum is what he is really craving to experience, because a man in his masculine power is actually quite simple. He is direct and focused, and his life is not so complicated. It's on track, right? It's this straight line on track. It's simple. So when he comes to your presence, when he comes home to you, or he finds himself in your arms, he's actually gaining access to the complexities of life. And his energy is simple and your energy is complex. So your ability to tap into your vulnerability means more than just bringing him into your heart. It actually means that you, as an individual, connect with your truth. And your truth is that you are not just this physical form, but that you are an energy behind this physical form. And so if you think of like a city, this is just a good example for this. A city is a very masculine place. There's concrete all around. There are skyscrapers that are literally they're phallic in nature. There are these like points sticking up into the sky that have been handmade. They've been built by men most of the time, that working with tools and these building blocks that ultimately come from nature, but they've been so handled and manipulated over time that, the bricks that build a building, or the planks of wood that have been cut and developed, these are the building blocks that they're building these structures. So city is a very masculine place. There's nature, but it's being expressed through the people that are living in the city rather than the space, the environment itself. So vulnerability is to tap into true feminine vulnerability. What it means is that on a day-to-day basis, just as a human being, you practice connecting with your true vulnerability, which is it's the understanding and remembrance that day to day, you don't have control of what's happening in your life. And that just the very fact that we are alive as human beings on this planet makes us vulnerable. We don't know what's coming next. And we love to try to gain control and hold on and have control in our life. But that's not us actually being in our power, especially as women. So today we'll work a lot with the energy of surrender, because when you surrender day to day in your life, when you surrender from moment to moment around those experiences that are happening in your life that may not be going your way, or maybe you have kids and it's just you can't control them, right? You don't know what's going to happen next in your life, and we as human beings love to try to control it and figure out how we can manipulate the situation to know what to expect. But that is actually putting us in this really limited power. Whereas our true power as human beings in general, and especially as women, is to fully let go of control, learn how to surrender on a daily basis to what comes to us, make literally the best of every situation, and understand and embody that we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable creatures. And if we own that and embrace it, we expand our power and our vibrancy and our energy way more than if we're trying to control things on a daily basis. So, one second here. So just a nice example of this, our culture very much values being in control. Our culture values the masculine energy more than the feminine energy, and now we're shifting that. This movement is shifting that. You being here is shifting that. But historically, we have valued even like going to university and going to school and being on a track for career, all things that we have most likely grown up with our parents saying, you need to take that track, because that's going to make you more valuable in this society and in this world. And if you're like me, my body rejected that a lot. I mean, there's part of me that believed it, that I need to, choose that career and choose that major to study in school and, move down that path in order to be worth something in this world. But that has nothing to do with our worth. And in fact, as we as individuals and women step up into true worth and value, that whole paradigm, that building structure will literally start to crumble. That paradigm will no longer exist when we reject that reality. So we're already seeing this in many ways with the millennial generation, kind of rejecting the mainstream work world, that there's a lot of spontaneous creative jobs that are springing up. And that's really such a beautiful thing to see, because it's like, no, there's not this, we aren't prescribing anymore to this old structure, this old paradigm. So to go back to the city example really quickly, a building may look like it is a place of safety, and it is, it provides us safety, and I'd rather have a home than be homeless on the street. So there is a level of safety that the walls and the structure around us can create. But in truth, these buildings are vulnerable. They're vulnerable to an earthquake. They're vulnerable to a tidal wave. They're vulnerable to wear and tear. Even the strongest structures are ultimately, if something's rigid, it is more vulnerable to being knocked over than something that is swaying and flexible and movable. Like there's trees that, like palm trees, can grow really, really tall, but they have quite a skinny trunk. But they're built to be flexible, to be movable with the wind, so they can handle the storms. There's a bit of feminine energy in a palm tree. And so you see how there's a strength in the softness. One more example of this is fire and water. And I use this in the first video too, that, a single flame, you can like put your finger over you could just be like, and like move your hand over the flame. I used to do that as a kid, and it was just fun to like play with fire, and it was soft, like the flame, not holding your finger over it, but just moving your hand through it. It's a soft feeling. And same with water. You just put your hand in water, and it's super soft. Like a single drop of water there's nothing more soft. It's so sweet and beautiful. But both fire and water have the potential to destroy and to destruct. So part of feminine vulnerability is realizing the freaking power that feminine vulnerability holds, the strength that feminine vulnerability has. And this is in every human, man and woman. Vulnerability in general is incredibly powerful, because if you are living your life trying to hide who you are, really, you're trying to hide what's going on inside, you are more like a rigid building that can ultimately be knocked down than that swaying palm tree, where somebody may say something and it just like may like sway you and move you, but it's not going to break you down. So literally wearing your heart on your sleeve, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you own it and you do the work to heal and clear the pain that you've held in the past. Because then the stories that are connected to your past traumas, all of the things that you've experienced as a woman, ultimately, they don't crumble you to tears in a destructive way, but you're open and you feel the emotions that are behind them in a way that it can ultimately bring somebody closer to you. So I hope that makes sense. I just love a little bit of connection time here. Is this making sense? I can answer 2 questions max right now. I'll do more at the end. But any questions that are literally pertaining to what I'm saying right now, not about anything else, please, we'll wait till the end. But just any questions that are popping up based on what I'm saying right now. So lastly with this, so the energies that we're playing with today are the energies of surrender, vulnerability, and truth. and how these energies ultimately create intimacy. Intimacy and connection, which is it's one of the key things that is needed for that love relationship, that romantic relationship that you desire at a deep level. We need to feel that deep level of intimacy and connection. So in order to have that, mastering the energy of vulnerability, mastering the energy of surrender, mastering that connection to who you really are, your truth, is ultimately, your authenticity is ultimately the building blocks for how you can have that deep intimacy in a relationship. So 1 second here, just looking at my notes. All right, so specifically as women, I'll just go into this for about 5 more minutes, 5 to 10 more minutes max on this. Specifically as women, we are softer by nature. Physically softer, just the fluidity is softer of our emotions and our nature. And so when you connect to your feminine vulnerability, you're activating a man's masculine power and ability to protect. And think about just historically, like actually we have an ability that men don't. We have an ability to birth a baby, to take in a seed, take in a soul, receive that in our body and build with it, work with it, create with it, and birth a baby. So our power is both in our receptive energy and our ability to birth then from that place. It's not just one, it's really receive first, and then you can offer, then you can give this magnificent gift to the world. So that's why it's so important to be able to receive, is that ultimately you're not just receiving for nothing. You're receiving because what you give is magnificent. So that's, if you have a hard time receiving, I want you to think of it as it's not just stopping in you. The reason it's important for you to receive, and that ultimately it's a gift for everyone around you, is that if you're being filled up, you are then naturally releasing this energy of love and kindness that benefits all of those around you. So a specific example of this is, let's say you're in a relationship, and naturally, if a man's in his masculine power, he will be oriented outward often in the relationship, because if he was always just focusing on you, that would be unattractive for you. That it would turn you off most likely if you're in your feminine power. If he's always focused on you, it would be weird energy. So him being focused out in the world is how he experiences his power. That being said, we experience our power when we're in intimacy. So if you're having a moment when you're in a romantic relationship and you are craving intimacy, you're wanting connection, and he's not giving that to you, if he's still focusing outward and it's like, it's an appropriate time for him to focus inward and he's not, you're going to be drained. You're not going to be filled up. And that's not going to benefit him. A man in his masculine power will know that spending that 20, 30, 40 minutes to 3 hours to 3 days of time filling you up with love. Sometimes it takes literally 10 minutes of that one-on-one time where he's just penetrating you with love and attention and focus and touch and care. Then you begin to get filled up by that masculine penetrative energy of love that fills you up, and you get to be satisfied. And now you're operating in your world from this place of being full. And that is the energy that benefits everyone around you. So I just wanted to give you that picture because that's what's possible. That is available to you in your next relationship. And that's what will happen as you activate these energies. You will begin to attract a man who knows how to do that. So it may not happen right away. You'll get a little flavor of it, taste of it here and there. But I just want you to start to see it, because my intention with this training is not just to activate these feminine energies, but to give you knowledge of what a man in his masculine power is like, because that will help you manifest him in your own life. Lastly with this, A woman in her power is soft. She is in her own pleasure, meaning she is living a life that feels good to her. She's not living a life that doesn't feel good to her. She's leading her life in a way that feels good. She's taking care of her body. She is spending time in the sun or in nature. She is taking care of herself, and she's feeling good on a daily basis. When you become the energy of good feelings, and that's just emanating in your aura, when he comes home and he comes around you, that's what he experiences. So you become a source of this energy of feeling good. And that's the energy that he wants to ultimately be with for the rest of his life. So that if you can master that and you orient your life to feeling good, then the feminine energy, like shifting into your feminine energy, it just becomes your way of life. It's not an action step. It's just how you are. So if you feel like you're in your masculine energy all the time, one quick shift to just start practicing is rearrange your lifestyle. Start prioritizing feeling good above getting anything else done. If you can, first and foremost, taking care of your body, doing things that inspire you and make you feel good, spending time with friends, going out on dates, whatever feels good to you. That's number one in the feminine, in the magnetic feminine woman's life. Is she lives her life with the first intention of feeling good every day, and that allows her to remain soft because she doesn't have to control everything. She is just existing. She's literally existing in an energy of joy and love. When you are in that state of existence and you're not hardened, you're not trying to control everything, you can remain soft, which ultimately you're remaining vulnerable. You're remaining vulnerable to the world around you. You're not trying to control and freeze up and protect yourself. You're literally just living in a state of bliss. A man will see that and experience that and will ultimately feel that through you, he can gain access to those good feelings as well. This is what inspires him to want to use his muscles, to use his strong, firm, contracted body and energy to create the space of protection. He wants everything to do with being that person that protects you, because you're his source to the divine. You're his source to feel good. Ultimately, he's sourcing that in his own life, but there's something that you can offer him that he cannot get on his own. And this is really important that we understand this as women. So how do we do this? Is practicing surrender on a daily basis in your own life, practicing getting into this flow with your life and allowing things to come, even the hard things to come, the moments where you're not in control, and rather than trying to latch on and maneuver and manipulate the outcome, just let it work you. Let yourself receive the experience and then transform with it. So that's what the activation will be about. Just looking at these notes. Okay. So he can't do what you can do. He cannot do what you can do. So your job is to get to know what you are here for and embody that and live that in your daily life so beautifully that he knows that he can't have that experience without you. All right, so let's just shift into the activations. Any last questions before we do that? I have everybody take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. I feel like I'm moving a little bit fast, so I'll slow things down. I'm trying to make these closer to an hour and longer, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. All right. Okay. So we'll start with a breathing exercise called Nadi Shodhana. If you did the feminine activation trainings with me, you have done these. this breath practice. If you haven't, then just trust that every day as we do this, it'll get better and better and easier. But this is a beautiful breath that balances the right and the left hemispheres of the brain. So it balances actually your masculine and feminine energy, that energy of wanting to control and the energy of surrender. It can help you calm down if you have high energy, or awaken if you have low energy. So it's just a breath that helps you find center. So to start this breath, take your right hand up. I think it might be backwards on the screen. So right hand up, but I'm gonna right hand up, and then pointer finger, middle finger down. I'm gonna use my right hand even though it looks like my left. So you're bringing your pointer finger and middle finger down. Cover your right nostril with your thumb, and inhale through your left nostril. At the top of your breath, cover your left nostril with your ring finger of your right hand and exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right. Cover your right nostril and exhale through your left. Inhale through your left nostril. Cover your left nostril and exhale through your right. And just keep this pattern going. Inhale through your right. Cover the right. Exhale through your left. Inhale left. Whenever you are ready, exhale right. Just take about 5 more rounds of this, but you don't have to count. Just drop into the present moment. Feel the sensation of the air as it moves in and out of your nose. And allow your breath to slow down. So each round is moving slower and slower. And now soften your breath, feeling just like a single flame is so soft, and a single drop of water is soft. That there's a softness to this element of air. What is the feeling of the soft air do to your body? As you slow down and savor the flow of the softness as it streams into you. See if you can feel it awaken every cell of your body, enlivening and enriching your body with this life, this soft life. And the next time you exhale out of your left nostril, let that be your final round. Gently bring your hand down to your knee and take a few rounds of breaths, keeping your eyes closed. And feeling the soft, soft energy move through your body, entering your nostrils. Notice how you feel. And then from this place, just begin to rotate your spine so slowly, even more slowly than last time. If you were here, move your body as subtly as you possibly can, even slower. Recognizing that in this world we rush and we speed through things, and we don't want to take up time or space. But there is only the opportunity to drop into full pleasure, to full sensual awareness of your power, of your energy, when you slow it down. That you are worth waiting for, not just on a romantic relationship level, but in your life. You are worth putting yourself first. You are worth not taking a single step forward until you feel good in this moment, until you take care of yourself. Take a deep, deep breath in. Just noticing how it feels to let the body move without controlling it. To let it have its own voice, to let her have her own voice. This container that holds the goddess energy. And then slowly come into complete stillness. And just observing, see if there is now a movement of energy within you. And even though your physical body is still, this Shakti force, this divine feminine flow of life that keeps you alive, that is the vibration of every cell. That when a man puts his hand on your arm, when he pulls you close, he is feeling this subtle, deep vibration of your body. He is feeling the life and the warmth that lies beneath his hand. There's an entire world that he is holding when he is holding you. Feel yourself as this infinite source of energy, an access point to divine energy. That when he holds you, this is what he is gaining access to. And lastly, repeat after me this mantra to just elevate your energy, to put yourself in your full power, and to naturally protect your aura, to naturally protect yourself in all 7 directions. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Repeat after me. I am before me. I am behind me. I am at my left. I am at my right. I am above me. I am below me. I am unto thee. I am, I know I am. I am, I know I am. I am, I know. Take a breath into all 7 directions. And as you exhale, again, dropping deeper into your body. And with that mantra, we activate the spiritual presence that you hold as a woman. We activate your truth, which is that you are sacred. Your body is sacred. Your body is not more or less sacred than anyone else's body. But that when you remember this truth, you awaken that sacred energy within you. And then you're able to share it in the world and activate those around you because of your remembrance of who you are. Feeling into the soft, sacred presence that you hold. Just allow yourself to lean back into support behind you wherever you are sitting or lying down. Just lean back. Place one of your hands over your heart, one of your hands over your low belly. And as we drop into this visualization and meditation, I ask that all the words that are spoken, all the wisdom and information that comes through, holds the energies of love and light. Only these highest energies of love and light are present, that my words are guided, and that each person here, live and on the replay, receive exactly what it is that they are meant to. And so it is. Take a deep, deep breath in. And as you exhale, come into that state of warmth that we've activated in the first call. Just allowing your body to soften, just like a little baby or a kitten or a puppy. There's this warmth emanating from them. There's this magnetic pulsation happening. They're so soft. They're so subtle and supple, so gentle, that more energy flows through what makes them physical. Your body is made of molecules, and these molecules are created by all the elements, and that some of the molecules, or that of these elements, there is air and ether. There's a spaciousness. It's within the spaciousness, the channels, that energy flows. A deep, deep breath in. So by softening in your daily life, by releasing your contracted energy, your controlling energy, your rigid energy, and relaxing, you soften and then gain more access to Shakti, your divine femininity. As you gain more energy flowing through your body, you start to vibrate more powerfully with the energy of love. You hold more life force within you. You hold more sexual energy within you. And you are ultimately radiating this energy out into the world and magnetizing everything you need toward you. Take a deep, deep breath in. So first I want you to think of something that has been heavy on your heart, a situation in your life that you have been wanting to change or that has caused you suffering. Feel into that event or that fear, that doubt. Bring it into your body. This could even be a doubt around, will my love come to me? Will I ever be in a romantic relationship that I want? Will I be able to attract my soulmate? Maybe it's around money and your ability to sustain yourself and your family. Whatever is first, put your attention on that and notice the emotions that arise in your body. Take a deep breath in. Notice the energy quality that you hold as you're thinking of this event. Where in your body have you contracted? Is it in your heart space? Is it in your belly? Locate the area of your body that has become more contract and rigid. Take a deep breath in. And exhale fully. Allow yourself to simply ask permission from your body to let go. To let go of control in this situation that you don't have control over the outcome. What does it feel like to surrender even a little bit? To let go. When you let go in your daily life, you let the divine guidance of the universe come in to press on you, to push you, and to pull you toward your life's highest potential. There's a divine masculine presence that is coming towards you in your life that is ultimately guiding you, bringing experiences and opportunities to you, providing you everything you need. But your ability to trust that force is the only way that you will be able to fully receive the gifts that it's wanting to give you. Take a deep breath in. As a woman, your greatest power is being able to surrender and receive and trust, to let go and know that this force has you. This force is taking you somewhere that you cannot get on your own. Because when you're at that level of ecstatic embodiment, or you're at that level of empowerment in your life, that force benefits. That force experiences that beauty that you are emanating and experiencing through you. Take a deep, deep breath in. Just take a moment of silence. And in this moment of silence, anywhere that feels tight or rigid, breathe into that space and allow this light of your breath, your inspiration, to penetrate, just like a laser beam could penetrate something physical, burn a hole in it. Allow this soft light to come in and create space in whatever part of your body that is holding on. Deep, deep breath in. As you exhale, soften your body, soften your energy, soften your attachment, and let go. Good. Take a deep breath in. And then lastly, I want you to just imagine that you have armor all over your body. And as if you were just taking off an entire shell of physical hard mass and matter around you. Just imagine yourself removing this armor. First your chest piece, your helmet, your shoulder pieces, part that's covering the space behind your heart, on your back. Removing the armor from your legs, your knees, behind your knees, your inner thighs. And stepping out of these boots of this armor, And now you are fully exposed as this woman. Your body is almost new and vulnerable, meaning your skin there's a supple energy to it. There's a softness to your skin. Maybe it hasn't seen the light for a while. So there's a vulnerability that it holds. Allow yourself to feel raw in this moment. Notice what it feels like to be this raw. Here, take a deep, deep breath in. I want you to see a powerful masculine presence in front of you. Maybe you see his face, maybe you don't. But this man represents the divine masculine presence, whether it be spirit wanting to guide you and give to you and love you and take you to your highest life possibility. Or maybe it's this divine partner that wants to come into your life and give to you and protect you and empower you and elevate and lift you up. Take a deep, deep breath in. Your gift to him is your ability to be this soft. It's your ability to be this receptive and open and raw. Because in this energy, you say to him, I trust you. I trust your leadership. I trust your protection. I trust your guidance. I trust your gifts. And I trust your loving presence. Notice how soft and open and spacious your body is. And feel into the power of his contracted form, of his solidity, stability, and strength. Maybe he is wearing armor, because that is an expression of his power, this strength in this physical world. But that in order to merge with you, he must remove that armor. And he still is this strong, solid, stable, masculine, contracted presence. And through that power, he's able to penetrate you. He's able to find connection to this soft energy, to merge with you, and to release, reconnect to this truth of divinity and sacred energy. Take a deep, deep breath in. So you don't have to see him merging with you or penetrating you, but just allow you to sit there with him for just another minute, standing there in front of him perhaps, feeling his solid presence and allowing you to be in your soft presence. His power, his solidity, your power, your softness. Two great forces, two great polarities, opposite of one another, coming together to experience a higher possibility together than alone. Because it's through his penetration and his protection that you can soften deeper. And that as you soften deeper, you connect with your truth, your divinity, the sacred energy. Okay, final breath in. And exhale. Just bow your chin to your chest. So feminine vulnerability, keep your eyes closed and just receive these words. Stay connected to your heart. Feminine vulnerability is simply the willingness to connect with this raw state of being. It's the day-to-day practice and allowance of this raw, vulnerable self to come through. To live from a place of openness, knowing that you are actually so much stronger and more protected when you allow your heart to be open than if you were to hide your truth and to hold back and protect yourself. Your power is not in protecting yourself. Your power is opening yourself and trusting. Notice the vibration in your whole body. Take a deep breath in. Notice how you feel. This is feminine vulnerability. This is all you need to feel to invite him to connect with your heart. This is the greatest gift to give. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And come back into this physical world. So just by spending almost half an hour, we were there, inside, you are activating this inner world, which is the world of the feminine and the goddess. And notice how it feels to reemerge into the outer world. Do you feel more connected to yourself? Do you feel more of your energy alive within you and just this presence? Because when you feel present with yourself and you're in the outer world, you are bringing the force of the goddess forward and embodying her wherever you go. So just notice how it feels to hold that energy within you. And this is the practice of feminine vulnerability. It has actually, we can talk about what it looks like to be in conversation with a partner and to be vulnerable and to share your feelings. But that is still taking it more in the head. And I think you guys already know that based on the content that you have received. And I know a lot of you have been around this information for a while. So I just wanted to take you deeper into that state of vulnerability in yourself, that raw energy, because it's that feeling that you can activate in your body. That's what he will feel. You can speak all the feeling words and share the way you feel, but what you're actually feeling, is what he is going to be feeling. The bodies are communicating on a subconscious and energetic level. So the words that are being spoken are not always creating the intimacy. Sometimes the intimacy is being created by the body. So just a couple little things to implement. Practice this in your life. When you're on a date with a guy or you're in a relationship right now, how vulnerable and raw can you get? Think of before you tear up and start crying, the body is tense and rigid and it's just so contracted, trying to hold everything in and hold it back and just maintain control, and all the charge is building and there's just all this energy. It's it's moving upward. And then the tears, those soft tears start to stream down your face, this downward moving energy. Downward energy is the feminine energy. Starts to soften you. And it relaxes you and it lets it go. You surrender. So those tears, when you let him see those tears, or when you let him feel your softening, even if you're just in bed together and you just nuzzle up into his chest and then you just allow your body to just soften even more into his strong physicality. and you feel like, allow your heart to be raw. Just feel it. Feel the rawness of your heart, the open, exposed love that you have toward him. Like, be transparent in that energy. And that will speak deeper than the words that you can say. So I want to open it up for questions, and just say that this is the training in completion. So if you are watching on the replay, you can get a lot out of the question and answer, but you don't feel like you're going to miss any of the training / activation part. But this is the space that I want to do a little bit of one-on-one work to answer any specific questions. So if you feel free to write your questions now. And any specific things that you feel like you'd like me to address, or any questions that you want to talk about. This is the time. And otherwise, if you are feeling complete, feel free to close out, and just know that this energy that we activate during this time together, it is an elevated energy. It is here to remind you of your sacred energy. And with vulnerability is knowing that you are sacred, and you're willing to expose that. So like with sex, for example, the reason it doesn't feel good for a woman to have sex with somebody, well, at least for me, that's how it's always been in my life. It doesn't feel good for me to have sex with somebody who doesn't really see me and doesn't really value me. Because what's happening is I'm literally opening up my greatest access point to him, and he is gaining full access to me. So if you have a question, type it. If you do a deeper, one of the group trainings with me that goes over the course of 8 weeks to 3 months, then we do Q&A, but in the style that you raise your hand. But right now we just do the typing format. One sec. So whoever just raised their hand, just type your question, please. But the reason it feels so icky and bad is because you're literally opening up your whole body you're giving full access to your sacred energy. And that's not what feels good if somebody isn't going to value you. So when, part of feminine vulnerability is embodying and knowing that you are the divine. Like, as a woman, you are the bridge between spirit and matter. That through your body, this vessel, he is experiencing this spiritual power. And that's why it's in a way, it's really important to be discerning and discriminating as to who we do merge with. Because not all men will be at that level of being able to value you and see you and meet you at that spiritual level. And it's your job to learn how to discern who is, like, the more time you spend in these elevated energies and frequencies, you'll naturally only be able to merge with men who can match that. And my intention, my invitation to you is to start to be aware of the energies that you attract. So anyway, any questions? I'm not seeing any questions come in. So please don't raise your hand, just write it. Oh, I see this question. Okay, I guess you can ask a question in the Q&A. That's cool. Hi, Anya. My question is, how to surrender of control in order to tap into feminine energy? Okay, beautiful question. So notice where, let's say, for example, like the other day, I was in an Uber, and the Uber driver was like driving crazy. I really did not feel safe. And it was a moment that I really didn't choose to surrender in that moment, because I was like really tired, and I just like didn't even want to. I was just like, I got very agitated. I wanted to control the situation. My energy was like, I was kind of fuming. My energy was moving upward, and I was in my masculine energy, wounded masculine energy of wanting to control him and to get angry at him because he was not doing what I wanted. So think about where in your life the outcome is not what you want right now, and how much charge you have around that. It's not benefiting you to stay there. What would benefit you the most when you open into your full access is to notice what you don't have. Do you actually have control over the situation? And if you don't, then can you soften and just let go? Practice letting go. And at first it's just a choice. Really, at first it's a choice to just like, okay, I don't have, maybe you don't have a relationship in your life right now. Maybe you've been just trying to control the guys that you've been dating or wanting to control the outcome. And you're beating yourself up when things aren't working out. That's not benefiting you. So this level of being able to let go and surrender and just trust. Hold on one second. Ultimately, it's a choice, and you just start to practice it. Just choose to let go of control. Just choose it. Say to yourself, that's not in my control. My choice right now is to let go right now fully. I'm not going to put my energy on that. I'm going to trust and surrender and just believe that this is working out, that this is happening for a reason, and that everything that's going to spiral and unfold from this moment is really for my highest good. I'm letting go. This is not for me to control. It's literally this energy, like, whatever. I can't control it. It's not for me to try to control. It's just really ultimately a choice to begin to do that. So what are some, okay, I'm going to address this, but what should we also let go of things we can control? Well, what are you controlling right now? It depends on what it is. Like, if how it is in your life is creating joy and pleasure and happiness, then continue to do what you're doing. But give me a little bit more context. What is it that you are controlling? What are some tips for when you notice you are having a wonderful feminine energy moment? How can you get a wounded feminine energy moment? How can you get out of it and shift so you don't channel or send a wrong message to the right man? I love that. When you're in that place but don't want to be. Okay, I love that. It's a great question. So wounded feminine energy can turn into empowered feminine energy through vulnerability. Oftentimes, wounded feminine energy will come up when you are feeling insecure, or you're feeling unsafe, or you're feeling like just something from your past is being triggered. So if you're feeling wounded, the first step is to get to the underlying issue. What is it triggering? Because there's an emotional charge beneath the wound. And in that emotional charge is your vulnerability. So it's getting to know what that is in that moment, and then being able to convey that and communicate that through your energy and your words so that he knows what's going on. So what that looks like is, if you're on a date and you're feeling like his energy or attention is elsewhere, you can just, like, a vulnerable thing to do would be to say, or let's say you've just, maybe you're just not getting your needs met in that moment, and it's making you feel, wait, does this guy like me? Does this guy not like me anymore? Like, what's going on? You can say directly to him, you could say this, I felt disconnected from you, and it was making me feel nervous that you didn't like me anymore. You can be super transparent. That is the energy, in my opinion, and my experience, being transparent at that level of talking about, like, I love to feel closeness, and I felt really disconnected, and I was confused because I was like, where is he? And you weren't there. And you're saying to him, I had this fear come up that you didn't like me, and that's why I was, acting that way. I was acting a little distant because I was trying to protect myself, but what I really wanted was to feel close to you. That's transparency that's vulnerable and real and authentic, and how he responds to that will show you who he is. It'll show you if he's an elevated masculine superior man or if he's not in those energies. And that's good information to know. So that's the thing about transparency and vulnerability, is it's really a gift to you, first and foremost, to be that level transparent and vulnerable with somebody, because you kind of pass the BS. There's, you know, if you're transparent and super real and authentic, you won't find yourself in an inauthentic relationship 5 years from now. You, from the start, will be building a relationship based on truth with somebody and inspiring him to be in his power the whole time. Because if he doesn't deal with that situation and handle it in a way that empowers both of you, again, that's good information to know, that he's not able to handle your vulnerability. Of course, you need to be responsible and not just put all of your emotions onto him and say, deal with this. But that's why we use the words like, you know, I love feeling close, and in that moment I was feeling disconnected, and it made me fear that you didn't like me anymore. Or I just had a moment of insecurity and it made me want to put walls up and be resistant. But what I really wanted was to feel connected and close to you and safe with you. Like, that's a level of connection. So, all right, moving on. Does that help, Sarah? Hope that helps. All right, it's interesting that the warmth energy is different from vulnerability energy. I felt warmth more pulsating, furry in me, and vulnerability is cool, calm, soft. Wow, I love that. Is there a general way to communicate emotion and feelings in a vulnerable manner? Because there is a guy whom I had seen twice who started a text conversation, and I responded. Then I didn't get a response, and at a mild level, it triggered me. If in any case, sometimes it's hard to read these. If in case he texts again, is there a vulnerable way to respond to it? Okay, just in case he texts again, sir. So you want to communicate that you felt triggered through text. I would not do that through text. I'm a big fan of minimizing the amount of communication that happens over text message, because for me, I don't really like, it doesn't feel good to wait necessarily. I just don't really like connecting over text. Like I want to feel connection. I want to feel intimacy, and you can't really have that over text. So I would just say, it depends on how invested you are. If he's just a guy that you're dating and your intention right now is to have experiences dating, you can say something like, I've been feeling, or I felt confused, or, again, I need to know the specific example because I don't know exactly what's going on. But I would minimize the amount of texting that you do. And if anything, you can talk about how you feel very, very, very briefly, and just say, yeah, do you want to give the specific example? Because I don't want to redirect you in the wrong way. I need to know more information. Okay, I'm still qualifying him if he is the right person. That being said, I would just notice it. Just notice that it made you feel something uneasy and try to let it go, meaning like just minimize the emotional charge, because most likely he did not try to do that to you. Most likely he just was unaware of it, and we are tracking things more carefully and making things mean something oftentimes more than they really are. So I would invite you to just see him as maybe he made a mistake, but he literally has no idea that he did. So just see if you can just let it go. Notice that it happened, notice how it made you feel, but try not to focus on it and just focus on feeling good in you, clear the slate, and just continue to see what happens next. Because I think we can oftentimes qualify people out of the picture before they really show us who they are, So give him more time to show you who he really is, and see if you can just give him more space to show you who he is, rather than just disqualifying right now. Because it doesn't sound like, I would need to know more of what he said exactly. But Oh, okay, so he didn't respond. Yeah. If he keeps doing that, then you can say, hey, you know, in order to feel safe, like talking to you, I like to feel consistent communication and consistent energy moving toward me. It just is what makes me feel safe. Just say that, you know, and then see what he does. And because it's obviously like you're over it. So you're over it right now. I just don't want, she's saying, I just don't like the feeling when guys stop responding. Yes. Okay. Love it. And she's like, thank you. I love that response. Yep. I'm over it. So you're expanded right now. That response feels good to you. So that is definitely your truth. And use this as an opportunity to break that cycle. You can say to him, hey, you know, like, I've enjoyed connecting with you, but I'm not into like, I like to feel consistent communication. I like to feel consistent communication. It makes me feel safe. That's what I need to, you know, that's what I need to feel interested in somebody. And the way that you feel is your evidence of that being your truth. Yes, it sounds so vulnerable too. Exactly. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so next question here. Also, I love that you notice there's a difference between warmth and vulnerability. There totally is. Warmth is sort of this invitation. Vulnerability is like raw. Vulnerability is raw and transparent, and it's just like a gift to be around a woman who is in that vulnerability. Warmth is just for everyone. It's just beautiful, emanating. I don't need anything from you, but I'm sourcing everything I need. And then vulnerability is like this sacred connection point that not everybody gets to see. However, I invite you guys to be more transparent in your daily life. Like, I invite you to share your feelings with everyone. And it's not something that most of the world does, but it's part of the elevated woman archetype, because it's, you know, maybe the world isn't uncomfortable. Maybe the world is not as comfortable with intimacy and vulnerability and emotion, but you are. And that's what makes you an elevated woman, is that you have mastered the heart. You know the power of your emotion. You're not afraid to share it. Because if you're suppressing your emotion and your feelings, you're literally suppressing feminine power. You are the source of the suppression of women on this planet. So I invite you to be courageous and fearless and share the way you feel with the world. Because maybe it'll trigger them, but don't let that trigger send you the message that you're doing anything wrong. What you're doing is actually disrupting a status quo and a structure that is no longer serving anyone. So I invite you to step up into that elevated woman energy. Be raw, be real, authentic, transparent in your life with everyone. Share the way you feel with the person at the cash register. Like, just get deep with people. And that is how you become that. That's one of the ways that you become that initiator and activator for a higher potential planet. I have so many close girlfriends in my life, and all of them, you know, so many of them say, like, I don't feel this way with, you know, I don't have this connection with other people. You're my friend that I can go to this level with. And I'm like, this is my norm. This is normal for me. So many guys from my past who feel like what we're experiencing is, they, you know, that I've never had that with anybody else. And to me, it's like, no, this is normal. This is baseline connection. But it's beautiful to realize that your ability to be vulnerable with yourself and intimate with yourself is really how much you can drop in with somebody else. So the deeper you go with yourself, the deeper you can go with another person. And then you really just become such a beautiful gift, because you are this access point to all of that. All right, any last questions? This is the last chance to put them in, and otherwise I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next training, which is feminine sexuality, which I'm super excited about. It's like one of my favorite topics. In your opinion, what constitutes the inner strength in order to be soft outside? I love that question. You know, I think ultimately it takes time, but the biggest thing is owning your vulnerabilities and owning your wounds. Because if you don't like, okay, you guys might have been there, but I did a live stream with Helena a couple weeks ago, and somebody on the live stream was like, she needs to get a boob job. She doesn't have any boobs. Like, she's so flat chested. And it was just like rude and odd, and I was like, whatever. But if that had been an insecurity for me, that, like, I'm transparent about who I am. I'll wear whatever. I have like size A breasts. I don't have a big chest, but I love my body. I don't wear a bra most of the time because I like show off my body that I've been given. If I was trying to change my truth, if I was showing up in the world with this facade on, and maybe it's like this armor on, like a big bra that was just trying to show the world that this is who I am, not who I really am, then somebody saying I have small breasts would have triggered me, and I would have given my power away to that person. But it's not something that triggered me, and therefore she got none of my energy. She had zero access. That comment had zero access. Got no access to my energy through that comment. What that comment was doing was trying to drain me and pull energy toward her. But that didn't happen. So what I'm saying is, inner strength, in order to be soft on the outside, comes when you own all of your insecurities, and I know I have insecurities still that I'm working with and dealing with. I don't love my profile. It's like this deep insecurity that I have. I don't like my nose. I don't like my chin. But I'm working on loving those parts of me. But the point is nobody can touch you if you're transparent. If you own, like me saying, I don't love my profile. Like, you guys could tell me you have an ugly nose, and I'm like, trust me, I have insecurities about it. But that comment, thank you so much. You're so sweet. That comment, because I own it, those words don't have power over me. You know, it's only when we try to stuff down our truth, that some of these words, comments, actions can have power over us, and they can drain our energy. So to answer your question, think about, like, again, that example of the buildings or a person wearing armor. If somebody were to jab a sword at somebody wearing armor, that armor is actually going to have, or that sword is actually going to have an impact on that person. They will probably feel the force and have to, like, move back. If somebody jabs a sword at somebody who's transparent, that sword is just going to go right through and make no impact on that person. So that's the power of softness, is it's the ultimate strength. You know, it's stronger than the armor. So I would literally tell you guys pretty much anything because it's not, I don't run my profession. I'm not in this professional business world from a place of, my work is to disrupt the belief that we need to even be professional. I mean, I am professional, but like in this container with you guys, I would pretty much tell you just about anything that I have gone through, or definitely in a one-on-one call, working with me privately, because it's not beneficial to me nor you for me to hide things. It doesn't give me more power or protect me to not share truth. Why would it protect me? It protects me more to be vulnerable and authentic and real. And so this is like the extreme, like I'm kind of an extreme embodiment of this. So you get to find your own range, because, you know, I have really close friends who aren't at that level, but it's authentic for them. So I'm not saying that you have to just go around the world like sharing your deepest, darkest secrets, but that's how I am. I tend much more to the vulnerable side, because to me, I see that as much more safe than hiding myself from the world. So does that make sense? All right, I'm going to hop off now, but if you guys have any more questions, please email me. I love you. I hope this was helpful for you. If you can really quickly type one word that feels like it's one word that you're feeling right now as a way to just close out this call would be awesome. One word. Okay. Love it. I love it. All these words, keep them coming. I love it. Yes, it was very meaningful to me. Thank you, Anya. Thank you. Such a powerful live stream. Beautiful, Gladys. Thank you. Gladys says inspired, empowering, inspired, respect, inspiring. Wow, I love the inspiring. Light. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Glowing. Oh my gosh, I want to keep these words. They're so beautiful. So notice what word you chose. That word is healing for you right now. So work with that word. Put it on your wall. Grateful. Work with that word. There's an energy and a healing that that word holds for you. So take that word, whatever you said, and work with that this week. Well, for the rest of this day, because there'll be more words. Courage. I love that. So inspired, empowering, inspired, respect, inspiring, light, glowing, grateful, courage, brave. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you so much. Seriously, thank you for being here and sharing your heart and being vulnerable with me and raw and opening this deeply. So I'll see you tomorrow and look forward to it. Talk to you then.